As Reginald lashed out, there were bursts of gold and black, mixed with massive sparks of red electricity that flew from them. A flurry of strikes lashed out at the All-Force. Once again, he blocked them all with ease, parrying them off as if it were nothing. Regiment's movements were lightning fast, far more so than at any point before. It seemed that this new physical form of his came with a great boost in speed and strength. As Regiment battled the All-Force, fists of gold and black pounding away at him, but with no results. Shock forces of energy rang from the location, but the All-Force remained unflinching. But in a flash of red, Regiment suddenly appeared far away from the All-Force, still laughing that mad laughter of his, as he raised his hand in the direction of the All-Force, and suddenly a massive seal appeared in front of him, taking up hundreds of feet across, as a giant beast ripped its way from the seal. Strangely enough, this seal was far different from the other ones Reginald had been casting. Far so. Different in design, and even different in the energy that it seemed to emote. And this time, without snapping, it seemed to just emerge at will. And from it, a massive monster. Something like a dog, made of black smoke and fire, lunged from the portal, straight at the All-Force, biting down on it with an explosive amount of force. The sound of its jaw clamping down, crushing through the earth and stone around it, sounded like an explosion, sending shockwaves all around, as suddenly the beast's head began to swell rapidly, exploding out in a burst of vibrant rainbow light as the All-Force floated at the center of it. But before anything else could happen, a massive red ball of energy seemed to propel out of nowhere, flying at the All-Force, who once again seemed to bat it away effortlessly, bouncing it off into the background as it impacted, exploding, creating a massive mushroom cloud of destruction, as Delius's eye once again caught Reginald floating in the air, a fair distance away from the All-Force, laughing maniacally, as once again more of those new seals began to emerge in the air, and from them creatures of all shape, size, and assortment began to form from black smoke and ash, fiery interiors to their form, as they flooded out in massive numbers, heading out in waves towards the All-Force, as Reginald disappeared once again, lost in the flurry, the army of creatures that he summoned, as the All-Force one by one began to bat them away, completely destroying them in single hits. Now beginning to actually move about, flying around, being chased by these smoky, fiery apparitions. Even though there were hundreds of them, it didn't take the All-Force long to work his way through most of them. The sequences of hits raining out like machine gun fire, destroying the creatures one after another. As once again there was another massive flash of red, as what appeared to be a massive sword made of red energy and fire swung out, Reginald being at the hilt of it. In all appearances, it looked much like an ant trying to wield a human-sized greatsword, and doing so effectively. From a far enough away perspective, it looked as if nothing was swinging the sword at all. But as the blade came in, once again, all the All-Force did was throw a single punch that shattered the blade, suddenly appearing in front of Reginald. "Come now, is that the best you can do, Reginald?" the All-Force exclaimed as another punch rang out, striking Reginald down, sending him to the ground in a bolt of fire and smoke, and rainbow light that curled from it. And as Reginald impacted the ground, when one might expect to hear the cries of pain or agony, still all you could hear was the laughter. Reginald laughed out furiously, as in an explosion of smoke and fire he bolted from the location of the impact, heading directly for the All-Force. And once again they began to clash, fisticuffs hand to hand, as Reginald lashed out at him, one strike after another, beginning to mix massive balls of energy into his attacks, explosions ringing out across the skyline as Reginald and the All-Force did battle. "So he's got one of those too," Jack said, staring at the fight. "This one's different than the Doc's. I mean, it's definitely got the same kind of feel, but there are also some major differences in it. While he does look pretty terrifying, to be honest, the Doc looks way more monstrous. He's actually bigger, too." "You've got to be kidding me. You've seen that, too?" Delius exclaimed. "Yeah, as I said, I've gone more than a few rounds with the Doc, and as of yet, I'm having a hard time picking a power difference between the two. This guy and the Doctor are almost like two sides of the same coin. The powers seem similar, but there are also differences in everything. Ones that most people probably wouldn't spot out at all. But I've fought with the Doctor on numerous occasions. I noticed them. For example, Regimen seems to have kept much more of his humanity during the transformation. He still seems to have his brains and wits about him. When the Doc transforms, he's far more monstrous. Don't get me wrong, they seem to be fairly even in power, at least without access to all the power they've gained over the centuries. But in terms of tactics and their ability to reason, it seems like Regimen has kept more of his than the Doc did. Does that mean that the Doc spent longer in hell? Lost more of himself? I don't know. This magic crap confuses me," Jack said as he stared at the conflict overhead, the countless explosions ringing out, as the All-Force struck out again, smashing Reginald once more, this time even harder. So much so that his impact on the ground seemed to fissure everything around him. The earth tore itself up like a mountainscape, as lava broiled beneath the broken pieces, spilling out in waves, and still you could hear the laughter as Reginald quickly bolted out of the crater he was in, flying back up into the sky, and for the moment they stood still. "Is this truly all you possess, Reginald? Even when utilizing both of those weapons, can you truly do no more?" the All-Force exclaimed. Reginald replied, laughing furiously. "Well, I suppose, if you want to up the game, we could always go bigger." He replied, laughing, as suddenly another of those enormous seals forged itself in the sky, what seemed like far, far above the planet, as one singular ball of energy, utterly massive in size, began to fall from it. "Look out! Low clearance!" Regimen cried out as the massive ball of energy fell down towards the All-Force. The All-Force reached back, one arm, and threw a punch, and in it, a massive hole was blown in the center of the ball of energy flying down towards him. In the moment, Delius expected an immediate explosion, but instead, the energy seemed to ripple out into a ring that still fell until it encircled both Regimen and the All-Force. "Oh, looks like this one's a twofer," Regimen said, laughing as he disappeared in a flash of red, and suddenly, the ring wrapped in tightly, rapidly sealing itself, closed on the All-Force, who extended his arms, bracing as the ring attempted to ensnare him, stopping it several feet out as the ring of energy attempted to bind around him before suddenly bursting, exploding in a ring of destruction that consumed the sky, spreading the blackened clouds that covered it, so much so that the atmosphere itself seemed to dissipate to nothing, and the far stars beyond became visible. And still, the All-Force remained unharmed.